Hello and welcome to Aurelian University. In this video, I want to cover a couple of points that are going to make our later tutorials a little bit more interesting. So I want to talk about how we can manipulate file systems, read and write files, and how we can list the files in a certain directory. So really quickly, in order to do this, you're going to have to put import OS and import pathlib into the beginning of your script here, because these are modules that we're going to need. Now I think OS is built in, but I'm not sure about pathlib. I don't really remember. If it's not, you're going to have to upload or you're going to have to download the module onto your computer. And I have a video early on in the series on how to do that. So just go ahead and do that. I should remember. This seems like something I should know just offhand, but it's been a while since I've had to do anything like that since I've used pathlib so much. So I'm going to go through this script step by step. What we're going to do is we're going to use some for loops to loop through directories or folders on our computer to see which files are in them. We're also going to write to some files, create some files and write to them. And then we're going to check and make sure that we've actually been able to successfully write to those files. So I'm going to prove it to you. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to create a script path, and so this is the path in my directory where this script that is run is stored, and you can do that by typing this code os.path.dir name and then open parenthesis os.path.realpath open parenthesis double underscore file double underscore two closed parentheses. And so if you're new to coding, this will seem a little bit weird to you. We'll talk about objects and what they mean a little bit later, so you'll be able to understand this. If you've coded in some other languages, this should make some pretty good sense to you what we're doing here. Essentially what we're doing is we're just getting dynamically the path to this file. And I wanted to do it that way because if you're trying to run this exact script somewhere else, but you have your script stored somewhere else, I don't want that to be a problem. Right now I have my script stored in a folder called Python scripts, but if you choose to put your folder not on the desktop, for example, like mine is, it could make it a little bit difficult for you to, if you're new to this, to follow the exact instructions. But that being said, you could replace this with just the path to wherever your script is stored. So you could say instead that this is users/video, that's my username, /desktop if this script is stored on your desktop. So you'd say script path equals and then this. But the next thing we're going to do is we're going to create a new path to a new directory. We're going to name it new folder. You can name this whatever you'd like. And we're going to use the OS module to make that directory. So os.mkdir make directory. We're going to put this new path in here, and we'll create a folder in the same area as the script is stored, but in a folder called new folder. It'll create a folder called new folder. And then we're going to create a directory object. So again, this is a little bit advanced if you're new to coding, but we're going to take this pathlib object, and we're going to say .path, and then we're going to insert into this function the new path that we created, so the path to the folder. And this is all just so that we can, so that this tutorial can sort of be for anybody's computer. So we're going to use the function that we learned earlier, print, and we're going to write start files. And for each file in this new directory that we created, we're going to print out that the file was found, and we're going to put the file name. So just to walk through this, we've done for loops before, file, that's what we're going to call each item in the directory, and then we have directory.iter.dir, so iterate the directory. What this does is it turns the directory that we created up here, it turns it into a list, essentially, of all of the files in the directory. And so We'll talk more about objects and methods and how those work together, but this is just sort of some basic information that will allow us to do more interesting tutorials in the future. So you can just sort of roll with the punches if you're new to coding. This is going to help a lot in the long run. And then we'll print out this file was found and then the name of the file. We get the name of the file by saying file.name. And we insert that into the string. The next thing we're going to do is once we get all of the files in there, when we first start there should be none because we just created the directory. We're going to write some files and put them into that directory. So writing files in Python is actually really easy. So this is good. We create a file variable, and we do that by saying whatever we want our file name to be equals open. So this is a function. This is something built into Python that allows us to create files. Open, and then we put the path to our new folder plus text, and then here we'll put in, we'll insert the number in the range into there. So it'll be text file number 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then this W also has to be in the open function. So we do comma after we do that path to the file. Do comma and then W. And this tells Python that we're opening this file or creating it to write in it. Then we do f.write and put whatever you want to write in there. Here I'm writing file number and then whatever the file number is. And then f.close, and this closes the file. It's really important to always close files in Python whenever we write to them. And then I'm going to comment all this out. And we're going to run the first part, and I'm going to show you how it works. So we're going to do Python 3 lesson7.py. So it says start files, and then it lists all the start files, and they're none since we just made the directory. And so I'm going to open up this directory here. And so in this directory you have all of these files that we just created. So you can see it's sort of proof that we were able to create them. And I will open, see this file we have, file number 9. So the text that we wrote to it, it did in fact get written into there. And then I'm going to uncomment all this stuff. And then I also want to delete the directory just so that we can excuse me, copy new folder, move to trash, and always get it. So we're going to delete the directory and we can do it all. So here what we're going to do is we're going to print out all of the files that were found in the directory after the script has already gone, so you can see that we can actually read files. And then we're also going to go through and read all the text from those files. So we're going to use the same option. We're also going to loop through the range 1 through 10. And we're going to get all the same files with all the same names that we wrote them with. And this time we're going to put an A for append. We're going to write file number. So we're going to write to them a little bit more and close them. And what this is going to do is I want to show you append will, if you use write with a file that already has text in it, it will write over the current context. If you use append, it will add to it, so that's a nice feature. Then we'll loop through them again and get all of their text out and print the text. And we do that by using an R, where we used the W and the A here before, and then printing f.read with these open and closed parentheses, and then closing the file. So start files, we still don't have any because remember we deleted them after the last time we ran it. End files, so these are the files that were created right here. And so it loops through the directory and gets all of the end files. And then this is the text that it got at the very end. So we use the append method of writing to it. And so that allowed us to add text instead of overwriting the text. So basically the result is that it said it twice. And that's it for this lesson. Knowing how to make directories, create files, write to those files, append data to those files, and read those files is actually going to make for some much more interesting videos in the future, believe it or not. And it's also going to allow us to do things that are a little bit more sort of practical, things that you might actually want to end up doing, tasks you might want to automate in your day.